The Independence Square is haunted by many spirits who not only appear during the haunted ghost tours in October, but reside here year-round. Many of the brick buildings still in use today were built during the 1850s. Many of these buildings are haunted, and Independence was built on a much older city starting in the 1820s. The Courthouse Exchange at 113 West Lexington is reported to be haunted, possibly by a boy and girl who play tricks on the employees. On numerous occasions, the opening manager has found dimes throughout the restaurant on the floor and tables and by the register. The dimes are always found face up and are never there the night before. One of the pictures in the ladies' restroom is sometimes found upside down or sideways or even off the wall. On one occasion, the opening manager, who closed the night before, found a stuffed animal sitting on the bar that had never been seen before. Often the TV is tuned to cartoons in the morning when the night prior they were always on news channels. The two young spirits have been sighted by patrons who think they are live children until they disappear in thin air. The manager, who has worked at the restaurant for 10 years, says, "I have never personally seen a spirit, but sometimes feel the presence of someone near me, and I don't want to work alone if I can help it." She said that one time she had two reps from a beer company come look at one of the signs in the window upstairs that was not working, and they came back down the stairs very quickly. The two men said that after they unplugged the neon sign from the wall, it lit up again with no electricity, which is impossible. They were so unnerved by the experience that they left and never came back. The Truman home is reportedly haunted by the ghost of Harry Truman, who sometimes appears in his living room and library, and there have been several reports of a man resembling Harry Truman walking in the neighborhood in the late afternoon at dusk, who disappears before people's eyes. It is well known that President Harry Truman used to take daily walks around here, especially after his retirement from the presidency. Maybe his spirit is repeating old habits. Tom Baumgartner, owner of Play Game Cafe, reports that there is a 2-foot diameter hole in the concrete floor in the oldest part of the building basement that is filled to floor level with soft dirt. A local resident familiar with the history of these holes said that they are bomb shelters that were put into all the businesses just after the end of World War II, when threat of a future nuclear war was rising, and this was Truman's hometown. When the bomb shelters were considered unnecessary, the property owners filled them with dirt. Some people say they may be filled with more than just dirt. Some people also claim a number of buildings are still connected by secret tunnels. Like many stores on the square that have had a long history of add-ons and modifications, one store is over 100 years old and has been added onto at least 3 times. In renovating the basement, they have discovered old furnace vents, hidden crown molding, bathtubs, and stairs that lead to nowhere. The Baumgartners also have the spirit of a little 6-year-old boy with blonde hair in the building that their young daughter can see and hear, and that I saw on one occasion during an investigation. Corporate copy print owner Susan Waters says that when she first moved into the building, she heard a very loud chainsaw but could not locate the source. When she went next door to the neighbors to ask if they knew where the noises were coming from, they said they heard nothing. Several people have heard loud footsteps and running on the vacant second floor of the building. When they go to investigate, no one is there. A paper delivery man insisted on going upstairs with Susan one day when he heard someone running in the upper level, but he also found no one. He left and never came back. Cafe Verona reports a lady in blue who sits at one of the tables in the restaurant, then disappears. She also knocks over alcoholic drinks and only alcoholic drinks. Some speculate that she may be from the Prohibition era. The employees say that the cabinets in the kitchen will often open and close by themselves, and one day the chef quit and walked out when all the cabinets flew open at the same time and all of the utensils flew out into the kitchen. A salon owner on the square has seen a shadow move around the salon and felt the presence of someone. I investigated this spot for her, and I saw a woman in a Civil War era dress sitting working at a desk in one of the back rooms, as she did many years ago. She was the co-owner of the store and did all of the books and ordering of supplies. Now it seems she's content to watch over the current owner and her employees. The large stone building located at 230 and 228 West Maple, where I used to have 2 shops, have a number of resident ghosts who bother the owners and employees on almost a daily basis. This building used to house Montgomery Ward's, and before that, the Independence Library. Bess Truman worked at the library, and Harry would pick her up to have lunch every day during the time before they got married. The employees at the store report seeing a lady in red, who is a young woman in her late 20s with short, dark, bobbed hair, wearing 1920s to 1930s style shoes and a red and white skirt and blouse. The lady carries books in her left arm and walks through one wall, through the store displays, and out through the opposite wall, seemingly oblivious to her current surroundings. Other ghosts at the location do interact with the current tenants, often throwing objects across the room, answering questions out loud, whispering, or making things like keys and photos disappear and reappear. The unruly spirits have even set off an alarm with motion only, with no door opening, several times, causing the police to visit. After they investigated one time, they asked me if anything strange had been happening there, and I told them about the ghosts. They were not surprised and said that sort of thing happens all the time in businesses in the area. During a class I held at the site over Halloween, 3 ghosts appeared to the attendees. One moved a heavy curtain and peeked outside of it. One woman in a white lace dress and black patent leather shoes appeared near the door, and the floating head of a creepy-looking man with very dark circles around his eyes appeared near a wall. Some of the attendees saw the ghosts, others just felt their presence, and still others got up and left. The Independence Square Courthouse is also reported to be haunted, with doors opening and closing on their own, doors locking on their own, and people seeing wispy spirits walking through the halls. One thing for certain, the Independence Square is definitely haunted.